Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cinetober. I'm sorry I did not get a review last night. This film is really hard to watch. Somewhat. Okay. So, as you know, I've reviewed Wrong Turn 1 and 2. This here is Wrong Turn 3. Alright. So, Wrong Turn 3... they tried doing something a little bit different. Instead of doing something like, with the victims just wandering in at the wrong place at the wrong time. This one they decided to do it about prisoners. This one prisoner named Chavez, who has a gang, and apparently the prison that he is at, the guards have heard, they got word they're going to try and break him out. So what we're going to do is, he was scheduled to go to another prison, but not for another week, but they decided to move it up instead, so that way that the guys don't know. So, we get the prisoners, we get Chavez, we get Crawford, we get this guy who's a federal agent, we get this bald dude, and then we get this ex-con, and then we're introduced to Nate, who is one of the guards, and this other guy. He was a black prison guard. I forget his name, but they get on the bus and they're basically traveling. They're traveling to take him to the prison. And then we see the cannibals. We see the young cannibal who has 3 toes. And this is honestly the baby from the second one. That's one thing I do like about this series. Even though that, in my personal opinion, that this film is the weakest, at least these films keep up with each other instead of it being something totally different. It's like Saw. All the Saw movies are different, but they all tie in together. A lot. But these movies, they only tie in together somewhat. So it's Three Finger and the kid left. And it shows the kid trying to move a trap or make some kind of gigantic falling fence trap, but he's not strong enough to do it, so him and Three Finger put it up together. And then actually the film begins with the usual beginning of the film, like with their victims, but this time it's people on a raft. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I'm trying here. I broke character. But like they're rafting, and then we get these 4 people. We get this girl, I forget what her name is. Then we get this other girl, we get this dude and this other dude, and the 2 dudes are going to get firewood, and the 2 girls are just sitting there tanning. All of a sudden, this one girl just decides to take her top off, for no reason, just out of the random. She's like, the girls need to breathe. And, it's a thing in a horror movie nowadays. Horror movie, nudity, it's a must-have apparently nowadays. So then the girl who's not a whore goes off with the other dude, and the other dude is with the whore, and she's like, she says I'm a slut. Am I a slut? Yes. Yes, you are. But I still love you anyway. And so like when they're like making out and stuff like that, the guy's got his hand on her chest, and all of a sudden he's like, I could hold on to your chest forever. And then, irony, an arrow goes through her back and out of his hand. So he will be hanging on to that forever. But then she gets shot in the eye because the other girl witnesses this. Then the girl gets shot in the eye. And then Three Finger comes and eats her eyeball, which was very hard for me to watch. One thing I will say, though, the gore in this one is terrible. There's a trap that the other dude walks into, and it's this like 3 barbed wire fence thing, and it cuts him in half, and it just looks horrible. It really does look, it looks awful. So then she's on the run, and then we cut to the prison and all that. So they're on their way there, and there's like 2 funny moments in this movie where they all say, "Shut up, Crawford." And then there's one at the end of the movie when they're trying to escape from the cannibal, and he's on their car, and they throw him off, and he does the stormtrooper scream. So they are now on the road. They stop at the sheriff's office, and they find out that Nate grew up around West Virginia. And so, him and the sheriff are exchanging dialogue, oh, well, when you get done, let's go have a beer. Let's go grab a beer together. And So, all the prisoners got to take a pit. They all got to go to the bathroom. So, they make the stop. And then they start driving again. And they do get the call about the people that went on a raft that didn't come back. But the sheriff is like, don't worry about it. They probably just wanted to stay overnight, So, no big deal. But then the prisoners are the prisoner bus is driving. And the cannibal makes them wreck. So the bus falls over and it catches on fire. They got to get out of the bus, and they eventually do. And then they find this armored car that has all this money. So now Chavez is like, okay, we're going to take all this money, and everyone has to carry their own bag. Even though one of the guys was injured, the black cop, he got injured. And when they're all, when he's dividing up who's going to carry the money, he finds a gun and he gives it to the cop, and he's like, he won't suspect you. So when he's like, I want him to carry the money, Nate's like, he can't carry it, he's too injured. And he's like, I don't care. So then he's like, what's the thing about money, Chavez? It's hard to spend when you're dead, but the gun is empty, and Chavez just shoots the guy in the head. Just shoots him in the head. So then they're walking on the street, and all of a sudden the girl pops out, and she's like, I'm being chased by this hillbilly. I'm being chased by him. And so, they decide to take her with them. More people to carry the money. And then they run into the trap, and Nate saves the girl. And then the little boy attacks, and, they hold him down. And they basically cut his head off, and they leave his head on the trap. And Chavez is like, we're going to send him a little message. And then we get another trap that the cannibal made. It was like a swinging scythe, and it cut the federal agent's face off. And the CG looked horrible. It really did. The gore in this was awful. It was very, very bad. So then Three Finger comes and he finds that his son, nephew, / cousin / brother, I don't know, the little boy's head is on the stick. And Chavez is like, looks like he just got the message. And then the girl's like, yeah, or you probably just pissed him off. Which he did. He did piss him off. So now Three Finger is taking them out all one by one. So now it's Nate, the girl, and the ex-con, and Nate's basically trying to buy time until the police notice they didn't arrive on time. We got to go look for them, and that's basically because they're walking around holding the bags, and she's like, "That's the third time we've passed that tree," and he's like, "Dude, you're right. He's gonna catch on to this," and he's like, "I'm just trying to buy time until I can think of something else." And they all think because he grew up around there that he knows everything. So then all of a sudden, the sheriff gets a bad feeling. He's like, I have a bad feeling. I'm going to go try and find Nate. And she's like, well, what about the call about the rafters, about the car? And he's like, well, you go take care of it. So she goes and takes care of it, and then all of a sudden we hear Three Finger laughing. It's obvious she's dead. So now the money starts driving them all crazy, and Nate keeps screwing over Chavez, but for some reason Chavez won't kill him. Chavez just will not kill him. Even though Nate has, even if I was Chavez, I'd be like, okay, yep, I'm done, you're dead. Bang, easy, shot in the head, bang, that's it. No, but he keeps making up excuses, and for some reason Chavez is not as smart as he looks. He's like, why should I believe you? Alright, leave me there. Go, walk. I'm gonna kill you. No, never mind, no, I'm not. I said I was, but I'm not. Alright, man, that's it. You're dead. Whoa, let's stop. Alright, move, go. They always keep giving him reasons to kill him, but he doesn't do it. Pull the freaking trigger, man! Okay, oh well. So, Chavez and the bald dude get in a fight about the money, and then the sheriff comes out. And he basically, the one time when Chavez was about to blow Nate's brains out, the sheriff and his dog comes in and they save him. So they're taking everybody back to the bus, and the girl the whole time's been saying, I can feel him, I can feel him. Now she's not that bad of an actress. Probably the worst actor in this movie was probably Chavez, because I don't know. But the girl didn't do too bad. You know, she played not the helpless victim, but the scared victim pretty good. She's like, I can feel him, he's near. And the sheriff, they do hint at that the sheriff knows what's going on. She's like, the hillbilly, and he's like, that's not possible. Then all of a sudden he looks up, and somehow the cannibal was able to climb up a tree without them noticing, and him dropping a pole down the sheriff's throat. Yeah. So there's 2 pole deaths in this movie. The first one was the guy whose hand got shot through the girl. Three Finger took a pole and jabbed it down his mouth. This time, he drops the pole and the sheriff just looks up and it goes down. It kind of looked like a Vlad the Impaler style. You know, the legend where they got Dracula. And it was okay, except he was stuck in a position like where he was standing like he had to take a dump. You know, he was basically like this. He was like, I know you guys can't see this expression, but I'm just wanting you to imagine it. Stuck like this on a pole. So then basically, Nate says they do mention they do have a destination in the film. He's like, look, there's a fire tower. I'll take you there. You can make your call, and you know, basically the whole plan is, look, I'll call for backup. Then they come to find out that the tower is burned, which is a good thing because this means that this one happened after the first one. And like I said, they do keep these movies aligned with each other. So then Chavez beats up the bald guy pretty bad, and they leave the bag of money to go look for the tower, and they come back and they notice that the money's gone. The bald guy has taken it, and the bald guy has a belt. I don't think prisoners are allowed to have belts, because I'm pretty sure if they were, they would be killing a lot more people in prison. So he's got the belts, and he's got the money, and then Chavez runs into him, but then his ankle gets hurt on the rocks, and then all of a sudden Three Finger takes a Molotov cocktail and throws it and burns the guy and burns the money. So then we get a one-on-one conversation between Chavez. He's like, come on, you hillbilly mother, let's go, man. And like they start fighting, and I'm honestly thinking Chavez is going to kill him, but obviously not, because these things are freaking indestructible. So Three Finger ends up hooking him in the chest, in the back, and when it looks like Chavez is going to win, Three Finger takes the hook and cuts his hand in half, basically, and then the fight ends with Three Finger making Chavez had to split. He took the axe and he split open Chavez's head and ate his brain. That's disturbing. And this movie does make it disturbing. This movie is a little bit disturbing for those 2 scenes. So, before that, they decide to, hey, let's trade her for our lives for the cannibal. Because they come to the car and he's beeping the horn. And, of course, it's a trap. So, they give the girl to him and he takes her back to the cabin. And she wakes up. And she's covered in barbed wire, and then she notices that the woman cop was butt naked, covered in barbed wire, and only has one more line. Help me. And then she dies. Yeah, so this woman didn't really... The only purpose she had was nudity. That's pretty much it. And then she dies. Now, I didn't mention when they do find this other little tiny building and how they get their chains free. This is how Crawford dies, and I made a little joke about this. They come to... Crawford gets put in a... He walks into a barbed wire net trap on the tow truck, and when Three Finger is driving away with him, he lowers the crane and he just drags his body all over the road. I was like, that's gotta be a real drag. Horrible Jokes 101. Who cares? It's my show. So then after that, while Three Finger is dealing with Chavez, Nate sneaks in because the dog found him, and so he was able to find her. He freed her. But then Three Finger comes in and they have a fight. He almost kills Nate, but then the girl takes a pole that's got a head on it and stabs him with it. And then they get in his truck, but he sneaks on the truck, and then he gets thrown off, and he makes a Star Wars yell. And they wrecked, so the car starts leaking gasoline and catches fire. Now this makes sense, unlike in Sharknado when the car just started leaking and randomly exploded. The Khan comes back and he gets them both out of the car before it explodes. Three Finger comes after them, and Nate takes the hook and jabs it in Three Finger's head and throws him on the car. And the CG and the gore, once again, it looks horrible. It looks bad. So then the car explodes, and then Nate decides, I'm gonna let you go. You know, I'll just stay out of trouble. So then Nate and the girl are sitting in the street waiting for the cops to come pick them up. The cops pick them up. Nate goes back to get the money because he was talking about how he was wanting to go to school, go to law school, and retire and everything like that. So then when he's getting ready the money, he's like, retirement, here I come. All of a sudden, he gets shot with an arrow, and it's the Khan. And in the beginning of the film, they do set this up, because they're like, apparently the Khan story was that he didn't kill anybody, or he didn't kill anybody on purpose, it was an accident. So at the end, he's like I said, never trust a Khan. And now this is where the movie gets even, this is the weakest one so far that I've seen. There's another cannibal. Now, they don't say who it is. They don't hint at that it's Three Finger. I don't think there's any possibility he could survive getting a freaking nail or a hook in his brain. I'm pretty sure he's dead. They don't ever hint at who it is. All we know is it's just a random cannibal. And it can't be the son because Chavez cut his head off. So the only person to survive is the girl. And then the movie ends. This one is definitely the weakest out because it's got horrible gore, not the best acting. Still, my favorite out of these three that I have seen so far is 2. So far, it's 2, 1, and 3. Guys, this has been another episode of Cinetober. Please put in the comments below, what did you think of Wrong Turn 3? Do you think it's the best? Do you think it's the weakest? I truly want to know. This is for you guys. This is my first series. I will be doing Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings tomorrow. Or actually today, because it's already tomorrow. But guys, have a good day.